I just woke up alone. It's about 8:18 p.m. on Monday. Um, April. Oh, it's the beginning of April. I've always struggled with remembering dates. Day of the week I can usually get a grip on, but dates are numbers. Um, and numbers are easily confused with other numbers. So it's Monday. It's eight, about 8:20 p.m. and I just woke up alone and it's dark. And oh, I don't know. Yeah, I can't even get myself visible on the camera. Pull the shades out for the side, but it doesn't make enough light for me to be seen. Oh, look, there we go. You can see that. So I think the camera wasn't even bringing in video. Anyway, just woke up alone. Um, yeah, so I guess there were more things I needed to do today, but all in all, it was so much it overwhelmed me. Um, I ended up curling up in bed and kind of shutting down again. Oh. Priscilla said she was going to help me move my air conditioner. I own 2 air conditioner units. Yeah, I'm a hoarder. I hang on to stuff I don't need, but I always figure, when I'm desperate, I can liquidate some of that stuff for cash, or when I do need it, I have it, or when or somebody else, needs something, I can get it for them. So that's it. That's it I have. So 2 of those things are air conditioning units, which, as hot as it just got in Phoenix, if there's, I should be able to sell those for some cash. God knows I need some cash, because the 44 still hasn't paid me. Just checked all my messages and no payment yet for last weekend. In fact, now I'm going on 3 weekends that I've worked, and I've been paid a grand total of $100. I'm supposed to be getting paid 125 a show, plus a $20 bar tab. It doesn't include food, and I was kind of curtly informed that during the show on Saturday that I am not to bring in outside food, which is, that's great. You're not paying me enough money to buy inside food, so am I supposed to starve? Well, it's, I'm sympathetic to the plight of the owner of that bar, but Jesus, there comes a point where it's just, what's, there comes a point where it's just ridiculous, and we're past that point. Anyway, so I'm kind of scared to confront her because I haven't been communicating well with other people, and obviously something needs to give, because obviously something needs to give, because I need to get paid. Even rounding down to $100 a show, I've done 2, 4, 6. So I've done easily. So I've done 6 shows. I've been paid 100. So even at $100 a show, she owes me $500, and $500 would be the difference between me being able to pay rent and not being able to pay rent. And because I'm really paranoid about, or really concerned about losing my apartment. That would be the difference right there. Just simply getting paid that which I'm owed for work I've done. I know she feels I'm not bringing enough people in, for enough people aren't showing up for karaoke. But the only conclusion I can draw on that is she's not advertising, what I have there, because I still have the same great karaoke show I've always had. I got the sound dialed in pretty good there, and I've got there are things I could do to bring the sound, make the sound better, but it's still, better than, way better than an average karaoke show. And I know I have the largest selection music-wise of anybody anywhere. Well, compliments on that almost every show. Somebody, trying to sing a song that they couldn't sing somewhere, and then, oh my God, you have that. I just threw that in there because I didn't figure you'd have it, and then they're singing it. Oh gosh, where was I going with this? So yeah, Priscilla said she was going to help me move my air conditioner, but it's after 8, so Pack and Store. It's not called Pack and Store anymore. Its name is changed, but the place formerly known as Pack and Store it has I can't get in there this time of night, so it's too late to move it. I need her vehicle to help me move it because it's an upright, the kind of air conditioning unit it is. It's one of the kinds that's on wheels. It's sort of an upright unit, and it's got like an exhaust hose that you run out to a window, as opposed to a window unit. That's what my other unit is. But it's an upright unit, and it says right on it, not to tip it sideways, which I assume will cause stuff to spill out of it or throws off the Freon. I don't know. It just says on the box, it's all on it, do not tip sideways. And there's no way I can carry it upright in my vehicle, so I was hoping to do that in hers. But she said she was going to run a couple errands and then come wake me up, so we could go do that. But anyway, it's too late now to do that. And I just woke up alone again. So gosh, what all did I do today? Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to get, the main reason I want to get that thing is not only can I sell it for some cash, because God knows I need the cash, but I can also, that's the only thing left in one of my storage units. So I got 4 storage units. They're costing me like $40 a month. And I have another one that's costs a lot more. I forget how much money. Numbers are really hard for me to remember. So, but I know that the one unit that costs a lot of money has a lot of space. If I can get in there and manage to organize it, I would say I've only got it maybe about 30% full, just because of how unevenly it's packed in there. And I would say a good 25% of what I have in there is just empty boxes, which is not an important thing to store. It's just I found sometimes when I need empty boxes, I can't get them. So I try to recycle them and reuse them and keep them handy as much as I can. So that's what's in there. One of the 4... Ooh, I have a cat walking on me. Who is it? Oh, it's Sambo. See Sambo? He's black. Been in the light, he's just a void. So, hey, Sambo. Oh, all right. My cat came in to say hi, so at least I'm not totally alone. So there's that. Yeah. So there's 4 units that are like $40 a piece, and the manager there said that the rents are going up. So that's I'm kind of struggling to pay that. So yeah, rents going up there is not a good thing. But I could, so anyway, I got everything emptied out of the one except for that air conditioning unit, which is too heavy for me to move by myself. So it's kind of stuck there until I need to move it here where I can plug it in, make sure it works, and then I should have no problem flipping it on and off or up, because people need air conditioning right now in Phoenix. And then in the manager there told me I need to get in and sign leases for the 4 smaller units because she doesn't have leases on file. Like somewhere in the change of ownership and previous changes of management, those leases got lost. But yeah, I want to go in there and let her know, hey, I only want to renew 3 of those. One of them I vacated, blah blah blah. But I can't do that until I get that air conditioning unit out of there. So um, I sold some DVD cases to the neighbor, so that was $10. I mean, $10 doesn't seem like much, but right now, like every little bit, that's $10 I actually got paid, as opposed to the karaoke shows, which are considerably more money that I'm not getting paid. So I only had two cases handy to give to him, which I brought to take photographs of, so I could get them listed on eBay and hopefully start just selling, liquidating selling some of those on eBay. And so I got the other ones for him. Uh, Thought I didn't see him since I got him back, but I usually see him in the morning. So, so this is the neighbor that's got that done. I sold a rather expensive album on eBay, although I got an odd request from the purchaser. It's a limited edition blue vinyl pressing of Elton John Diamonds, and he said that there's reports that some of them are on and black vinyl, wrongly packaged in a cover with a hype sticker that says blue vinyl. So the seller asked me to open, or the buyer, asked me to open them and to open it and um, to open it and make sure that it was blue vinyl. I'm like, well, once I open the factory shrink wrap on a record, it's no longer a new record, and it considerably drops its resale value. I said, but I'm interested in owning a copy of it if it's the wrong color vinyl, since it's got the type sticker, and I know it was, misprint. I think misprints are fascinating. So as much as I need to be liquidating records like that, that makes it more collectible to me and maybe something I'd like to keep. So I was like, well, and then Priscilla suggested, doing a little unwrapping video, so at least he sees that I opened it, that it was a new record and I opened it per his request. I've got it, mentioned that I was going to do it, and he's going to do it in my all communication to the eBay app. So if he tries to say I sold him a record that wasn't factory sealed as described, I can be like, hey, look at the communication between me and the buyer. This is what he asked me to do. But yeah, I told him if it wasn't blue, it wasn't on translucent blue vinyl, I happily, cancel the sale, refund it, and keep it myself and eat it. Um, so I need to get that done, but it's after, I forget the time, but I know it's after 8, and the post office closes at 9, so my eBay orders, I've also got an order for a Paul Simon CD. So those eBay orders aren't going to go out tonight. I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass because I need her to hold to help me make a video of unboxing it, because I can't open it and also hold a camera at the same time. So I guess it's, I don't know. That's Maybe I should concentrate on just getting it open and taking some pictures, I guess, and getting it shipped, because I hate when my orders go out late, and those are going to go out late. Oh gosh, what else? I think my last vlog, if memory serves, I explained some of the problems I had. Oh, I went to the mental health clinic today twice. I always say the mental health clinic because I always forget the name of what it is. I think it's called LifeWell now. I struggle with things when they change names. Like I remember what things are called, but once things change names, like I remember what things are called, and then I remember what things were called, but I struggle to remember what they're called now. Kind of like America West Arena will always be America West Arena to me. Even though I think it's like Ashley Home Furniture Arena or something like that now. It's changed names a couple of times, and it's confusing to me. And obviously, it's posed a difficulty for the Arizona Department of Transportation, because they, had signs up on the road, signs up on I-10, saying, "Hey, America West Arena exit." And now it just says Concert Pavilion, because they couldn't really afford the tax dollars to keep changing that sign every time they change the name of the stupid place. And why change the name of the stupid place? Like, imagine if everybody you knew, everybody just changed their names at random, And Bob, who you learned his name was Bob, is now Bill, and and suddenly, and every time you see somebody, not only do you have to remember like what their name, remember who they are, who they introduce themselves as, but then you've got to remember, all the different times they've changed their names. It's a lot to remember. So anyway, the mental health clinic has changed its name a few times, and it was ComCare for a long time, and I could remember ComCare, and then it was Value Options for a long time. I remember Value Options, but all the changes since Value Options have been hard to follow. But I think it's called Choices now. Choices or wait, no, shit, Magellan Choices. Anyway, I forget. And I've also noticed, like, one of the ways I remember what things are is I'll zoom in on, I'm really good at remembering where things are. I've always had a gift for remembering. Like, I don't remember what things are, but I remember where things are. So I'll zoom in on Google Maps to where something is. I'll zoom in, and there'll usually be like a little pin that pops up that says the name of it. And I can click on that, and it'll show me like their hours and phone number and all the relevant data, which is really helpful for things I can't remember. But when I zoom in on the mental health clinic, it doesn't have one of those pins. I mean, I can switch to satellite view, and I can see the building, and then when I have it in the regular map view, I can see enough of the outline of the building and the parking garage cover and the layout of the parking lot, and see in the corner. Oh, it's Windsor Clinic. I know it's called Windsor Clinic, so because it's on the corner of Windsor. Windsor Clinic's on the corner of Windsor and Third Street. So anyway, so the last vlog was taken right outside of Windsor Clinic, and I'm expressing my concerns there. There were more issues at Windsor Clinic when I went in. Anyway, so I want to say I saw a doctor, but I actually saw a speakerphone, and I saw I guess she's my case manager now, because my real case manager is sick. One who actually understands me and my situation, and she's sick. I don't know if she's ever coming back, and I don't know. I'm not managing very well there without her. Tara Aguilera, she's the one that's missing. I can't remember the name of the woman who has been helping me the last few times, but her help is, generally speaking, not so helpful. Yeah, so I've lost count of how many times I've seen her try to operate those speakerphones for me and not know how to use them. And admittedly, I don't know how to use them either, but I know that if I was left alone with them, I could download a PDF, download the operating manual to how to use them and read the operating manual, learn the operating manual, and then I would be a master of that phone. I mean, I generally could master any electronic device like that, given the time to just look at the manual and read how it works and then play with the buttons a little bit. Always been good with electronics like that. Newer softwares and computers, I used to be good with computers, but computers have just gotten so, all the firmware updates going so fast and things changing so fast. Now that those things don't, the buttons don't say the same, so I struggle with things where the buttons don't say the same. But physical stuff like that speakerphone, I'd probably be fine with. So anyway, I was supposed to see a doctor today, but instead I saw a speakerphone. I really wish I'd have recorded recorded that appointment. I do know I have another appointment coming up next Monday, and I'm definitely going to record that. I'm definitely going to put that on YouTube, because I feel like people that are not involved in the mental health care system really need to see how much it isn't helping. So I got a prescription for some for Depakote, which I guess is the generic of the Depakote, but she said Depakote, and then when I told the pharmacist Depakote, they're like, no, it's not for Depakote, it's for blah, blah, blah. I said, well, is that perhaps a generic for Depakote, and he didn't know, and then he kind of called it out loudly to somebody else who was packing pills at CVS, and that guy was like, "Oh yeah, it's Depakote." I'm like, "Ha!" Like it's like I'm the crazy guy, I'm the dumb guy, but at least I understand that. And you're wearing a schmuck, and you didn't know it. So 1 point for Dan. Um, so, gosh, I'm rambling. It's been 20 minutes, and I don't think I've really drawn any good conclusions here. Anyway, I was gonna huddle and go back to sleep because I was so freaked out, but I'm kind of awake now, so this isn't a good time to start my day, though. I have an appointment tomorrow morning. Oh, and I put them in my calendar wrong. I realized it was 8. I put them in for PM when it needs to be AM, so I need to figure out how to fix that, because it's not gonna give me my notices at the appropriate time. Although I'm pretty focused on trying to go in and see my counselor. I feel like a counselor or whatever it is, therapist. I feel like I get more out of talking to her than I do actually talking to the doctor, because I'll see her in person. Like I get a lot more out of talking to somebody face to face than talking to somebody that I don't know on a speakerphone. The one on the speakerphone is Dr. Bunn, like the coffee maker. So yeah, she prescribed, and I'm supposed to take that. She told me to take it every day at bedtime after I had explained to her my irregularities of sleeping and how sometimes I sleep for days at a time, even like a week at a time, and then other times, that I don't get out of bed for extended periods of time, and then other times like I'll be up for a couple of days, and try to be productive, and then just at some point I'll just sort of fall out. So I mean, I think I made it very clear that bedtime as a concept doesn't exist for me. But she told me to take them at bedtime anyway. And I'm like, well, can you please explain more about this bedtime thing? When is that relative to when I should take my pills? I finally got her to say, at 9 p.m. So I wonder if that means she goes to bed at 9 p.m. What an interesting life that must be. Anyway, let's see. I think it was 8:15 when I started this, and the timer shows. I hate when I go to the screen, I don't see my clock anymore. I just see the timer of how long I've been recording. It says 22 minutes and 55 seconds. So wow, 23 minutes I've been rambling incoherently. So 23, so it's 23 plus 18. Actually, I think it was closer to 20, 8:20. So that probably could be, it's about 8:40. So it's coming up on 9 o'clock. So I need to take my first pill at 9 o'clock. So I'm going to do that. I'd like to explain more about what happened at, anyway, suffice it to say that they were not very helpful there, but I do have a prescription from a woman that I couldn't even, from a doctor that I can't actually sit in the same room with. I don't know, I think part of it's what a psychiatrist is supposed to do is evaluate my mannerisms and my body language and stuff. I'm not quite sure how one does that on the speakerphone. I mean, honestly, it was hard to hear on that speakerphone. I feel like Charlie had a better chance of evaluating his angels than that doctor did, Dr. Bunn had of evaluating me. There was a particular place where she asked if I heard voices, and I most definitely did hear voices. And then the person whose name I can not remember, who doesn't know how to operate the speakerphones that she uses every day, she's like, well, those are voices in the lobby. I'm like, oh, so you hear voices too? And I was trying to clarify that it's really hard for me to tell what voices that I'm hearing are real and what ones are not real, because the voices I was hearing in that room are just the kind of voices like I hear all the time. But she said she heard them too. So, so I'm guessing the people outside the room. But I mean, I know sometimes I hear those kind of voices when I'm in a room by myself. So, for what it's worth, I don't hear any voices right now other than my own, like if I'm quiet. Yeah, I just hear the air conditioning blowing. It's unusually quiet in here right now. But sometimes I know I hear voices that aren't there. Um, anyway, I need to end this. I'm at 25 minutes. I'm just wasting time. I need to get my pill, get dressed, and figure out where Priscilla went since she didn't come back to help me with my air conditioner. Um, oh, my sister called. My sister Chris called. Other things happened. My Aunt Florence died about 1:30 a.m. this morning, so I never managed to call her and say goodbye like I wanted to. But my dad called me the other day. My dad called me for the first time in 30 years, 40 years. Dad actually called me. Kind of bewildered by that because I didn't think he ever would care enough to call me. Honestly, I figured he'd die before he would call me, but he called me. He called me on Saturday night before I left to go do karaoke. Before I left to go to work, he called me. And my sister called me today. She gave me she said, "Hey, you qualify for unemployment." I honestly don't think I do because I haven't had any real employment, like paychecks and pay stubs and stuff. Employment. I always avoid that because I'm not really good at retaining it, um, and then it just messes me up on for taxes and for Social Security. But at this point, I've lost my Social Security, so um, you got nothing, and nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose, right? So, but I tried to work that website, and apparently it requires Internet Explorer to work, and Internet Explorer requires a Windows PC, and I have an iPhone, so it doesn't work on this. And there's a phone number you can call if you don't have. It says if you don't have internet access, which is stupid because I do have internet access, or I wouldn't be able to upload these blogs. But apparently, when internet access means with Internet Explorer, and according to the website that they link to, which is a Microsoft site, um, that requires Windows 8.1 or Windows 10, which that's not internet access. That's supporting a monopoly. I shouldn't have to have a Microsoft operating system to be able to interact with the Arizona unemployment, the DES, I guess it's DES website. But I can't just go into a DES office because they're all closed because of COVID. I gotta admit, I got COVID and it just wasn't much. It was like a mild flu for a couple of days, and I'm very disappointed that I lived through it because I'm really tired of living through it. I'm tired of not being able to go to the places to get help that I need to get help because they're closed, and having to face these, trying to communicate on the phone, which I struggle with, and trying to communicate on these websites, which don't work on my only device that I have for using websites. It's just, the analogy I came up with earlier today is just like, imagine a guy gets his legs amputated and he's in the waiting room and they have crutches for him. He just needs to walk across town and go get them. Oh, and there's no ride. They'll give him his information for his transportation services once he gets his crutches. I feel like that's where I'm at. Like I know there's help available for me and there's stuff I can do, but it just seems like the hurdles needed, the obstacles needed to get these things are all beyond what I can manage right now. So I need to try to figure out how I'm gonna. I think unemployment would help me, but yeah, I don't think I can do their website. From what I read and what I tried, I don't think their website works on an iPhone. So even though I have internet access, it's not adequate internet access for their site, which is supposed to be for all Arizonans. I know I can't be the only person whose gateway to the internet is an iPhone. I mean, I know a lot of people, particularly like homeless people, the phones that they get, the ones they call the Obama phones, I think they're called Lifeline phones actually. they tend to be cheap Androids. They're not even iPhones. Like, at least I have a really nice phone, even though it's an older one. Like, they're not even that nice of phones, and it would seem to me that they should be able to apply for unemployment on those phones. It's those. You think a government provided phone would be adequate? The government provided phone, the government provided internet would be adequate to get on a government website for government assistance. But apparently, that's not how it works here in Arizona. Arizona requires a Windows computer, which is a very difficult thing to set up if you don't have a home. I mean, I guess if you had a laptop, you could do that. I don't have a laptop. For some reason, I've always struggled using laptops. And I know I'm weird, like for a karaoke host. Everyone's like, oh, like I was talking to a guy about hosting at a bar called Ain't Nick's, and he's like, well, yeah, you just set up. They got a house PA. You just set up your laptop here. And I'm like, I don't use a laptop. He's like, oh. He looked at me funny and was like, yeah, I use a desktop. He's like, oh, well, I guess you'd set up your desktop here. But, oh, laptops just always, something about laptops just always confuse me. Just they have different sort of keyboards. And, like, I did better using Spencer's laptop at 414. That job kind of ended badly, but I did better using Spencer's laptop because I was at least able to plug in my own mouse and keyboard. And that really did make, well, actually, I think I used his mouse. His mouse is fine. He did have a mouse plugged into it, so I didn't have to use that touchpad-y thing, which I struggle with the touchpad-y thing. I used to do okay with the nub thing, but laptops never use the nub thing anymore, so I had the touchpad-y thing. But once I plugged my own keyboard in, like I did, then I was just struggling with his the software, which is, to me, very confusing for what it does, and very overblown for what the just simply hosting a karaoke show, and his music library, which is a train wreck. My lord, I've wasted over 30 minutes on this. I'm just going to stop it. There's no way anybody's listened this long and is able to sort any of that out. God knows I'm not. But anyway, like and subscribe. Thanks for